I mean, you're Christian, right?
No,
You're not a Christian. I thought you said you're not an atheist.
no.
You're agnostic?
Yes, in some kind, but it's
Okay.
complicated. I have dissociative identity disorder, so several personalities because of split of childhood, of severe abuse and trauma, and because of that, like it's religious a little bit complicated question for me.
Okay. Does it depend on which current personality that's here? So the personality that I'm currently speaking to, what personality does that believe in?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure because I couldn't prove that I'm not sleeping, for example, now, or that I'm not living in the matrix. I could be sure that this world is real and stuff like this. But I have a lot of experience in Islam, and Islam is like close to me, but I couldn't be absolutely sure. So it's not like discommunicate from Islam. I just couldn't be like 100% believe it.
Okay, that's a good position to start from. So what is lacking?
I was extremely more radical in my past.
Right.
I would say like this.
Okay, so fantastic progress has been made. Yeah. How many personalities out of interest would you say that you have?
Several of them, like how many personality I have, I don't know, maybe like 10, 20, I'm not sure.
Right.
Yeah, 20.
In the middle of the conversation, is it possible that another personality will come, or can we maintain one personality in the conversation?
It's more likely more and more one personality in conversation. It's very rare for people who have GID to switch during the conversation. More often it happens when person have several personalities, something triggering another personality and switch happened, but it not happen very often.
Okay.
And by the way, there's some misunderstanding about it around religion as well.
Yes,
But
of
not
course.
just about it. For example, in religion, I noticed that many people who are very religious that believe that it's because of the devil, because of shaitan, something like this. But actually, it's like a natural mechanism that it's like the result of PTSD that happened in childhood. And if you read the latest studies on DID, or for example, when like it's neurodiversity, it's not something supernatural because some child experienced trauma in childhood, and after that the child couldn't manage with it. Like when you experience something scary, you could forget about it for a moment. Like it will be difficult to you to remember this trauma at this moment in the future. Yeah.
But there's one study that I would recommend you to take some time and look into. It's a study by somebody called Justin Barrett. So what Justin Barrett did, I think it was over a few years. He looked over, I think about 20 countries, over 20 countries. He analyzed over a good few years about the belief in God of people when they are young. And he concluded that we are born with an innate disposition of believing in a God. So this is something that's ingrained within us, irrespective of our experiences. So let's just say, even if a person was like Mowgli or Tarzan in a jungle, it is more likely that they would conclude that there is a creator. Yes.
Agree with that because not all people, but most people really used to believe in something supernatural. Some people like in one God, but it's really, I only know a couple of cases when people was from religious family but couldn't understand really how to believe. And actually it's neurodivergent people as well. It's some autistic people that I know.
Right.
I'm autistic as well, but I'm not like this. I say I have a very, very bad experience with really because I was very religious fundamentalist first in Christianity then in Islam. And now I try to be very careful not to go there again. But anyway, I'm more skeptical. But anyway, yeah, I noticed that many people really used to believe in something supernatural. And moreover, I came from post-Soviet Union countries, and I noticed that even in Soviet Union there was propaganda of atheism, and it was pushed into anti-atheism. But as soon as Soviet Union collapsed, many people became religious.
Yeah.
Especially what not working is prohibit for people to believe. Actually, I don't know why in some countries like France they continue to do it.
Yes.
Or like China, it's only because of protests.
Yeah. So out of interest, you said there were certain aspects of Islam that are not 100%. What are those bits that are stopping you from reaching that 100% certainty of Islam?
Because actually, like I don't have like one. If you're speaking about 100% certainty in everything, I couldn't be 100% certain that I'm not now dreaming. It's so like everything that I'm seeing and here I take for belief, yeah. And so I couldn't say for sure 100% that I'm not dreaming. For example, I'm not sleeping. That the world is real. Like I said, how to prove that you live not living in the matrix? How to prove that God exists? It's stuff that people take like for granted. They used to it, and yeah.
But the thing is, so would you class yourself as a Muslim? But like you said, there's a term that's used called the inference to the best explanation. That especially with everything that we do, you are going hopefully on your way home. You are planning that hopefully I will wake up tomorrow and hopefully I will do this and
For sure. Like,
yeah, like nothing like that. This tree might fall on us. This light might explode. He might come and start hitting me on the head with the chewing gum. Anything can happen, but we infer to the best explanation based upon our understanding, based upon logic, common sense, philosophy, rationality. So would you say, yes? So would you say, according to all of that, you do believe in Islam?
maybe yes.
Okay. Then when you say maybe, what is lacking, and maybe we can speak about that, and maybe I can enlighten you and give you more point.
For example, from your perspective, do you say that you believe in Islam absolutely 100%?
Yes. Yes.
Can you say one absolutely 100% that you're not sleeping now and everything that's going on now here is real or not?
Yeah, but the way I would go about formulating the argument is by it's the scaffolding of evidence. For example, there's certain small micro things that a person can do. If a person is sleeping, dreaming, there are certain things that happen in a dream that I don't know. Sometimes my dreams can be a bit crazy. I'm in school, and then suddenly I'm in a different country. So there's no logical coherence or chronological order when it comes to dreams. When I look over here and I say, based upon our understanding, there is a chronological order. There is order. There is cause and effect. More so than my dreams. Then if I do a graph, then I say tick for me being in the real world as opposed to dreaming. Another aspect, if I go like this in my dreams, if I look at my hand,
five fingers, yeah.
5 fingers,
Well.
even the details within our fingers, the lines that are there in our dream, we tend not to see details.
Yeah.
And in real life, we not only see details, we experience things more authentically and more in line with scientific process. So science is obviously an understanding of the material and physical world, and our understanding is more in line with archaeology, science, philosophy. However, when it comes to dreams, there's too many illogical things that happen.
But in dream, you believe that it's logical and you believe that it's real. So you're.
But there's but here's the other thing as well. When it comes to the dreams, there's a specific form of dream called lucid dreaming as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So lucid dreaming is when you are dreaming, but you're not dreaming. And creatives sometimes use that to create ideas when they have very little resources. So they can create and they can do all sorts. My friend used to say he was conscious that he was dreaming, and he would explore and he would do all sorts of things, but he knew he was dreaming. There were certain things there that would indicate that he was dreaming. So there are those sorts of things, especially when we look at lucid dreams, specific type of dream. And there's others, you got, out of body experience and the likes, even sleep paralysis, that, there's an element of dreaming, but there's an element of pain as well. And inconsistencies. Just because you believe something, that thing that you believe in your dream doesn't necessarily get tested scientifically, archaeologically, rationally. You may believe it, but the only way for you to determine if it's correct is if there is an objective way of measuring in your dream. But that can't be done. It's a purely subjective experience that we believe. And when we realize that, I fell over and, that there's no way for me to experiment or do this, then there's a disjunct. You're like, I fell over, but I'm not bleeding. There's something's not right.
Yeah,
Something's
but
weird.
you don't understand it.
Yes.
For example, this I think the most scary thing that very cool that I don't have this kind of problem. At least I hope that I don't have this kind of problem because it's completely different conditions. But even people who have hallucination, I never have hallucination in my life. Or for example, who drunk and have some weird ideas, and because of that, they believe that it's real.
Yes.
So this is why maybe I couldn't be 100% sure that it's real, actually, because things happened, and I know that some people experience this kind of thing. This is why I'm saying that for me it's very difficult to understand belief on 100%, despite that I knew that in Islam you need to have it. So you could, like, I think many people couldn't have it by 100%. They could be hope that they will have it one day, or they will say that okay, it's my way of thinking, and the God will understand because He knows everyone and everything, and created all this different way of thinking as well.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Sometimes I envy it, and sometimes I just was confused by people who have 100% sure in something.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Let's just say you were dreaming, and in the dream, something happens that you're unsure of. The methodological way of us analyzing that is inconsistent. You may believe it to be real, that's completely subjective, but for you to verify that, eventually your dream would fall apart and you would know that you're dreaming.
Yeah.
In the real world, however, notice with dreaming, it's synonymous with then I woke up, then I woke up, or then I realized. However, there's enough experience, cross experience from other people that we've met, from observations, from different fields of exploration like science, archaeology, that we can say that this world is indeed real, is indeed accurate from even from your unconscious way of doing things. You never would think that, you know what, I'm crossing the road. I don't know if the car is real, it's not real.
Sometimes I'm thinking about it's more for me like just tricks of mind.
Yeah, but the fact that you still wait for the car to cross.
Yes.
Do you see? So that means that in your heart of heart, intuitively, you realize and you understand that I do, but on the outside, maybe some of my understanding may be lacking, but you don't go about living your life
But
believing.
to checking it. On
Sorry?
better to checking it. On the other hand, on anxiety, you could say think that the door is open despite that you remember closing it. But just you know that in this condition, you know that you have this anxiety and thinking the door is open.
But isn't the fact that you go to sleep, isn't that fact that you're going to sleep indicating that you're not asleep?
No, sometimes I have these dreams when I wake up several times and go to sleep. So
Inception of dreams, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
anyway-
that's tricky.
By the way, how you decided to do all of this? I mean, to speak about Islam, to be in Dabat, all this stuff. How you started?
Because when I was young, and I started questioning what was around me, sometimes it's actually very similar to your thing. Sometimes I'd be walking the corridors in my school and I'd be thinking, what's the point? What's the point is a question. And it's like, okay, I need to answer that. Okay, he's saying that there's a God. He's saying it's not a God. Then what are the arguments put forward? Because if indeed we know and we understand there's no difference of opinion that we all must die one day because we are mortal, then what is to come afterwards? What are the logical reasons for this? And sorry, what did you say your name was? Amen. And the thing, Amen, was that I noticed that there were so many people that they were sad. They were not experiencing their life properly. And once upon a time, you realize when you're going through something without God, you realize that, you know what, without good and bad, right and wrong, we are directionless. Yeah, we have no one. You could be in a simulation, you could be a brain in a vat, you could be programmed, your consciousness could be done, and all of this sort of thing, although on the face of it, in our heart of hearts, we know it doesn't make sense. However, on the surface, somehow a wire's been tripped in our head that we believe whenever religion gets talked, we believe, you know what, maybe religion is like this. No one like this crosses the road, jumping in front of cars, playing with knives, playing with fire. When it comes to everything else, we follow the law, we do this, we believe we exist. So when it comes to all of these things, I was like, if there's heaven and hell, then surely I need to look into this. And then I did. And then, especially when all this terrorism stuff started getting saying, I was like, oh, what's this? That made me encouraged to look into Islam even more. And I realized that, you know what, Islam's arguments is much more rigorous, consistent, logical, non-contradictory than the other faiths like Hinduism, Christianity, Judaism, Sikhism, and the likes. And then I looked into it more. The more I looked into it, the more I fell in love with it. The more my life had more direction, more purpose. It's like before you're seeing stuff in blurry black and white, but then when you get connected with God, not just like certain people will come and say, oh, just believe in God. With logic, with common sense, with philosophy and stuff like this. All of that helps to fortify your understanding. Just like you're building a wall or a building, you need different materials to fortify that building, to make it stand, and then enough confidence that I can live inside it. I would argue it's the same. And I had to do the same with Islam. And I could make the argument with regards to, unfortunately, sometimes certain people come and they say, what's the evidence for this and that? And I think I've looked into it enough, whether it's manuscript evidence, whether it's logical evidence. I think Islam is head and shoulders above the other cases that get brought forward.
But you was from Muslim family, yeah?
I was born in a Muslim family, but I wasn't practicing.
Why? Like in childhood, you wasn't interested in, or
Yeah, there was no reason. I was just interested in playing, having fun, eating ice cream, sweets, that sort of stuff. When I started getting old, I was in secondary school, 9/11 happened. Then people asked me questions. Oh, why do you pray? And I didn't look into it too much. I just did the stuff.
because parents made you, yeah, basically.
They didn't. I was born in that household. It was optional for me. They didn't force me. They didn't. It was my mom used to do this. If I pray, she would tell me to pray. But then it was, if I had to do it, I would do it. And if I didn't, I didn't. Like it wasn't there. But it's only when I started looking into it and I understood that there is backing behind this, and it's actually more substantial than I initially thought. And these people asking me questions, these are good questions. Why haven't I looked into it? It gave me more of a motivation to look into it.
About 9/11 and actually very weird all this Islamophobic panic that happened, because basically, how to say it, there are a lot of terrorists who are Christian or atheists, like I don't know, in Soviet Union, in the first when Soviet Union was created, they officially called terrorism, or in China, and they were more cruel. And no one saying like atheist terrorism, for example, or Christian.
Yes.
Okay, I know, but by definition of terrorism, they need to be not state. But they was not state. But again, yeah, of course, yeah, okay. They were saying that it's anti-terrorism, but they forgot it 100 years later.
Yeah.
This is weird, and even now it's a lot of ideological stuff that's doing from like ideological violence.
Yes.
They're doing from different positions. Some Nazis, socialists, who is Christian doing stuff, bad stuff, some atheists. But if Muslim, everyone saying that Islam is the blame.
Exactly. You're 100% right.
Yeah. And
Christians have got Lord's Resistance Army, Eastern Lightning. You've got Christians blowing up abortion clinics, 969 Buddhist extremist group, the Hindutva in India. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And it's good, it's very mature that, of course, you've looked into this. And did you come from a Muslim family or you just looked into it?
No, my family was Christian Orthodox. And my father was absolutely very much religious that most people I ever knew.
Okay.
Because like in Soviet Union, religious was prohibited, that 90s happened, and in 90s, everyone was interested in it. Then like in my childhood, I was very afraid of God. I was even scared to write God, not from capital letter, not in very nice way. I was thinking that I'm like doomed. I will go into hell for any small mistakes I made. And in Christian Orthodox family, like for example in Christianity, this like communion. Sometimes need to go to church, but because I fast and I have low blood pressure, and sometimes when I was almost fainting, my father was saying that it's because of the devil. Or for example, he would yell at mom because my mom say something to him. He forget to cross the coffee. So I was in family that I have to, when I was very young, I have to think about religion. At the same time, his parents was atheists, so like I was a little bit in between.
Okay.
Yeah. So think I need to go, but it's also
Okay.
interesting to speak with you.
Yeah, it was really nice speaking to you as well. If you're ever here again, maybe another personality, I'd love to speak to all of your personalities.